unlocking the potential of AI for garage door companies. And this is a huge deal. So, you know, I think just watching this closely over the last couple months to a year, eh, I think ultimately AI will probably have a stronger impact on businesses and everything generally than even the internet did. So the internet obviously had a huge impact on everything. And I think the impact of AI is going to exceed that. Not necessarily in the short term, but in the long term, uh, AI will turn out to be an even bigger deal. So if you're not paying attention to it, now is the time to start. And so we'll talk a little bit about it today. For those of you who aren't following it, just to give you kind of a rough idea of what's going on, some potential applications in the garage door space, and then very specific applications that are really mostly available now. Okay, that's what we're going to talk about today. And that's really it. Keep it brief. We'll keep it tight. We're not going to get into the weeds on this stuff, but just speak very broadly today. Uh, if you haven't watched one of these before, I own garage door marketers, work with garage door companies for a while, and just more broadly in this industry for a long time. Doing this a long time. So we've got lots of customers, testimonials, and all that good stuff. And usually on these webinars, I talk about the digital dominance method, and this doesn't really fit into this methodology because underlying this methodology is digital. It basically presumes the internet, right? Well, AI is kind of an enhancement to all of it. And so eventually I may call this the AI digital dominance method, but we're not there yet. But so this touches everything. Okay, that's what this is about. And so just a brief introduction, if you don't know what I'm talking about, artificial intelligence refers to the capability of machines to imitate intelligent human behavior. And the key word there is imitate. These things are not thinking. They're really at this point large language models. So they're like basically programs that are trained on big data sets, and they're basically designed to predict the next word. It doesn't sound like a big deal, but it has big implications. And that's basically what they do. So not getting into technical weeds, but that's what AI is. And so you've got all these things, ChatGPT, you've probably heard of. AI-based content generation is kind of one of the easiest use cases, and that's been around for a while. But even things like Tesla, self-driving cars, things like that. These are all machine intelligence, artificial intelligence type technologies, and there's more of it coming. The advancement is very rapid now, and companies are already starting to use this. And really, it's probably the strongest use case right now is kind of a personal assistant. I mean, I use it that way a ton every day. Explain XYZ to me, or I was technical background, a little bit of development back in the day. Physics was my background, but it developed some custom code bases to do simulations and things like that. So not really like software development, but I know a little bit about coding, but I'm able to use AI to enable me to write modern web applications just based on my limited knowledge of programming. Okay, so these are really the strongest use cases right now. We're seeing that about a quarter of home service companies already are implementing AI. Now that's not garage door specific, but that's, to the related industries. I suspect garage door companies will tend to pick those up a little faster. You guys tend to be more technologically savvy among your peers. But you know, it's going to pervade every part of your business, and we'll try to forecast what that might look like today. So the question isn't why AI, it's why wouldn't you try AI? And I would even say you won't have a choice but to try AI. It's just a matter of when it's coming. So let's think about some particular applications for garage doors, and a lot of this is maybe on the horizon. It's not there yet, but I want you to start thinking about ways that this is going to start impacting the industry, and just keep your eye open for it, because The advancements already are just happening extremely fast. The strength and quality of the models and the capabilities that that unlocks is just moving fast. And so these things might come faster than you expect. Okay. And it's an untapped opportunity. The global garage door market is very big. It's still expecting to grow at a pretty strong clip. And, you know, because of the nature of the work, you know, installation, repair, maintenance, that's not going to be on the leading edge of AI directly. You're not, we're a ways out from having robots installing garage doors. Let's put it that way. But, it will impact the back office first before it impacts the actual production of the work. And so you can think of some applications that will come over time, however, like smart garage doors. You already see this with smart garage door openers. I just had one installed myself because mine broke because of a lightning strike, took out my garage door opener. So I had to get a new one, and it's got a camera in it. Um, it's integrated with my smart home, so I can open and close my garage door from my phone. These are basic things that are here already, as you well know. But the capabilities that come along with that and go alongside that are going to grow over time. And let's just think of some examples like predictive maintenance. So, how valuable would it be if you had some sensors on the springs that could tell you when they're about to break? And so, you have an installed base of customers who have your garage door openers. Maybe you installed their garage door or fixed their springs the last time they broke. And you can have sensors on them that'll say, hey, look, it looks like your spring is going to break soon. You might want to consider replacing it now. And what is that going to do? Well, that means you're replacing the spring. Or at least when it breaks, they're going to call you because you told them it was going to happen and it did. Versus, well, now you're competing with every other garage door company in the area to get that business, even though you installed it however many years ago, right? Much better if you are there proactively saying, hey, this is coming, prepare for it, right? Much higher probability the business comes to you at that point. So I expect things like that, predictive maintenance, to start becoming a big factor. Same thing with the opener, if the opener starts to fail. So you'll start seeing this in these sort of technologies, right? And a perfect example. Imagine the opener contacting you to schedule its own maintenance, right? That's the kind of stuff that AI will enable in actual mechanical devices. It could enhance security with unusual opening patterns. You can think of all kinds of things. Facial recognition in conjunction with security cameras. Um, mine already logs exits and entries with my security system, but as more bits and pieces of the home get integrated into a combined security environment, AI becomes a part of that. And so you're going to want to be aware of how your products and services fit into that ecosystem. And as you're talking to customers and your techs are dealing with customers, you want them to be, understanding the systems that your customers have and positioning your products as integrating within those smart systems that they're already having. Okay. And then maybe add on business lines. I know a lot of you guys do epoxy flooring. Well, as this smart technology improves, it might even make sense for you to get into security system, take on more pieces of the house. So you've got the flooring, you've got the garage door. Now maybe you've got the security system, the cameras, things like that, all integrated in a smart environment. Things to consider. And of course, in the manufacturing process, AI will really reduce costs, okay, which will improve your margins and it'll probably lower the cost of doors eventually. But it's going to have impacts on the build side as well. Okay. And so you probably more so than I know about ways that AI might impact your business. I would start paying attention to this because it'll probably surprise you how quickly it starts hitting. That's what it looks like to me at this point as I record this today. Now, How do you go about implementing it in your business now? Well, there's already a couple use cases out there. And really where, like I said before, where it's going to hit first is in the back office. It's going to hit the applications that you use. I'm drawing a blank right now what the big, you know, scheduling management system is. I can't believe I can't think of it, but you know what I'm talking about. You'll see it in there. But also in your marketing. It's already becoming a factor in marketing tools. We're all over this. Um, as these technologies make sense, we'll be implementing them in our own tech stack for our customers. We've already been doing this. I mean, we're ahead of the curve on this. We have been from the beginning, and we'll stay in front of the curve. It's going to be very important that the people that you're working with are taking advantage of this technology for your benefit, and we certainly are. But outside of that, things like virtual showrooms, especially, obviously on the repair side, but in terms of like new garage doors, well, let's, take a scan of their house and show what the new garage door will look like on their house. Just one example. But much more powerful than looking at pictures and them trying to imagine what it's going to look like. You can show them with technology like this. And the biggest thing in the short term is going to be customer service, um, answering more quickly, leveraging AI on your customer service platforms. Um, that's where the technology is already there and is, really in the next 3 to 6 months should mature very rapidly. And in fact, I'm working on something for our customers, which I'll be interested to get your feedback on. So the first thing is chatbots. Everybody's dealt with these. Everybody's tried to talk to them. They give you predefined options. They're pretty much useless. They try to direct you to knowledge bases, which you don't want to read that. You want help. And so you end up just trying to get to the representative because the chatbots are useless. Well, that's going to go away. And those chatbots are going to use those knowledge bases to answer your questions for you like you want them to. Okay. You'll also be able to use them to qualify leads. Instead of just taking, a comment and a name and number, uh, you can get it to ask, train it to say, hey, tell me a little more about your situation. What kind of symptoms are going on? And it will know based on what it's told what follow-up questions to ask so that you're presented with a much more detailed set of information for you to make decisions on in terms of what you would recommend to the customer. Okay, so that's with chatbots. The next thing is going to be voice assistants, and this is bubbling up now. You probably are not hearing a lot about this yet, but I'm actively developing these myself. And these are things like automated call handling. So imagine an answering service that is at least as capable as your human answering service if you're using it now, where they just take they answer your phones at, um, 10 p.m. when you don't want to answer your phones. But if you've used answering services, they don't know anything about garage doors typically. They just can take very basic sets of information, and there's not a whole lot you can do with it. Well, now, one of the first places you'll see a huge impact is in call centers, because what the data has already shown is that with these newest AI models, they can outperform human customer service agents because they're dealing with a vast knowledge base and they're able to answer customer queries more accurately and more quickly. So now take that technology and put it into an answering service. Now, say you have an answering service that's trained on your website that understands garage doors, the types of calls that you get, the way that those calls should be handled. You have extensive documentation. Okay, if they're asking this, ask them that. And you pull this together and you let an AI voice assistant trained on your voice, if you want, answer the phone call and converse with the caller and collect much more detailed and useful information for you that then gets sent to you in an email or something like that. That's what I'm building for our customers, and I'd be interested to hear your feedback on the kind of features that might be helpful in that. But the technology is here for that. They just have to be built. I know they're being built for other industries. I'm not trying to build a mass market product necessarily, but something that's very good that's for our customers to use. So very interested in feedback on that. Estimating tools. So that's another thing where as these products become more advanced, and you have kind of existing data, you'll be able to use these things to have better quotes and estimates for your customers done faster and maybe have them on demand by the same voice assistant who is fielding the call. And so you can be quicker to quote, quicker to engage. And the data shows that the faster you get numbers to your potential customers, the faster, the more likely it is that they're going to work with you and you're more likely to convert the lead. So your competitors will adopt this as it becomes available, and you're going to want to be ready for that and be taking advantage of it because they'll be taking the calls, and if they've got an AI voice bot who's able to take the call at 2 a.m. And I get leads at 2 a.m. People watch my ads at 2 a.m. So I know what's going to happen. They can call you 24/7, gets answered by someone who sounds credible, sounds like a human, and says, hey, okay, sure, what's the problem here? Let me check what slots we have available for you tomorrow. Looks like we have 10 a.m. Would you like us to send somebody at 10 a.m. to your house tomorrow? Yep, do you understand it's a $179 trip charge? Just whole thing documented, whole thing set up. You can have this thing setting up appointments for you based on your scheduling 24/7. These are the kind of things that will be built in the near term, and it's going to be a game changer. Um, and just emerging technology. I mean, this stuff is going to it's going to get crazy. Like I said, I think this is going to be bigger than the internet. So be prepared for it and be thinking about it. So, like I said, what could AI do for your business? I'm very interested in your feedback on, what a knowledgeable answering service operating 24/7 would look like. So I'm looking at building tools. Like I said, I've been testing voice assistants. I have a voice assistant trained on my webinars that sounds exactly like me that I'm using to test like outbound cold calling, for example. It's a much harder use case than receiving inbound calls. And so what I'm learning from building kind of outbound agents will make it much easier for me to build a very good inbound agent for garage door companies. So the question is, what would this look like in your business? Is there value there? I know in some industries that I work with, there's definite value there. I'm not quite so sure with garage. Maybe some garage door companies this would be a helper. I'm not so sure. So I'd like to hear your feedback. I'm not going to build it, for a garage door company specifically if you don't see the potential value in it. But I'm looking at building a combined chatbot AI voice bot to field your inbound inquiries and get better information for you more quickly so that it can be handled more quickly and have a higher conversion rate. So there's something like that would just blow you away. What would it do? That's what I'd like to hear from you, and then I'll think about whether I can build it or not. So when the replay email goes out, let me know your thoughts. I'm very, very interested to hear what you have to say about it. So how can we help? Well, we're thinking about this. We're already any place that AI is giving us a competitive advantage for our customers, we're using it every day. I'm paying attention to this, looking for it. And anything that's mature and ready, and even experimental and the little gray hat, it's going to go in the tech stack because we're about getting results for our customers, and that's what we care about. So if you want to talk about any of this stuff, yeah, we can talk about AI. Schedule a call. Go to garagemarketers.com/apply-now. Or give us a call. Like I said, when the replay email goes out, reply back with your thoughts. Let me know what an excellent chatbot answering service program might look like for you. And that's all I have today. Thanks for joining, and we'll see you next month.